it's your girl Paula Marie. Hello, it's your girl Paula Marie, aka the EbonyBizDiva. Hello, hello, hello. It's your girl Paula Marie, aka the EbonyBizDiva. I am humbled, I am honored, I am happy, I am giddy because I got my Pinterest sister in the house. When we find other people that love Pinterest like we love Pinterest, honey, we gotta
That's
throw them hands up. So I have my girl Shaquita Hyman in, and we're gonna just talk about and dish about Pinterest because that's our awesome sauce of choice. So welcome, Shaquita. Thank you so much for coming into the house.
Absolutely. Thank you. I'm well, Paula. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here with you today to talk about Pinterest because I love it. Just like you said, it's the awesome sauce. So I'm excited to talk about Pinterest from the influencer standpoint, because to say I'm a marketing expert, that would not be my title. That is definitely you and the other experts who I come to for that. But in terms of influencing on Pinterest and how the platform has lent itself to that lane of business, I'm excited to talk to you about that today.
Okay, so you touched on it a little bit. Tell the people who you are and what your superpowers are, girl.
Yes, absolutely. So I am Shaquita Hyman of the Unconventional Southern Belle, which is a fashion, beauty, and lifestyle brand. I've been blogging for a little over 3 years, and Pinterest has really become a huge part of my business and my success in about the last year. My superpower is definitely creating genuine connections. I love people, and I love to make people feel a certain way in a good way. So that is definitely what I am good at, and it has definitely helped to grow my business because I am pretty adept at making relationships and making good relationships. Like I said, I'm excited to be here today and chat with you.
Yeah, and so you're also a North Carolina girl. How long have you been in North Carolina?
I've been in North Carolina since 2011. I'm originally from South Carolina, so I moseyed on up just a little bit. We actually moved to Raleigh initially, and now we live in the Triad. Yeah, in the middle of nowhere, little country Alamance County. But it's a lesson. You can do it from anywhere. And I know that you can relate.
You can do it from anywhere, honey, and you close to everything. Like you can get the Greensboro, you can get the Raleigh, Durham, which is my spot where I'm from. You can hit Charlotte, honey. You can hit everywhere.
Everything. It is centrally located. We love it here.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask, you said that you want to talk about it from an influencer standpoint. So let's talk about what does it mean to be an influencer and how does that look like and feel like to you and your brand?
Absolutely. So for the longest time, I avoided the title of influencer because it seemed to come along with a negative connotation. And I recently saw somebody post like influencer is just the words influence and marketer put together. So it's essentially someone who uses their influence for marketing purposes. And I was like, oh, dang, light bulb. Okay, so now I've really embraced the title of influencer more because that's essentially what I do. I use my ability to create genuine connections, and I lend that platform that I've built to businesses, to brands, to help them market a product or a service. And I've always been someone who loved people. I've always loved helping people, and never in my wildest dreams did I think I could make money by just doing what I enjoyed. So I really have stepped into the space and really embraced it in the last year. Like I said, I've been doing it for 3 years. I'm at the point now where I'm tired of second guessing myself, just undermining what I'm able to do. And I've gotten to this place where, you know what, what you doing, girl? Step into that, embrace that. I'm at that point in my career as an influencer, and it's a pretty cool place to be in because this world it could be a lot. And really having Pinterest has helped to carve out a new space for me, and I'm just enjoying creating on that platform and being able to do what I love over there.
So you said you're now embracing like your expertise and the title of influencer. Let's like dig into that a little bit more because I think that's an aha moment that we as women, especially women of color, we just do not we don't own that thing enough. Like we wait for somebody else to validate us
Exactly.
instead of taking the time to claim and self-proclaim that thing for yourself. Do you
Exactly.
know, like when I think about it, let's just have a conversation. When I think about it, I think we're such nurturers and givers to others that we don't give ourselves like our props, because we have such amazing gifts and we just don't honor them as gifts the way others would. What's your take on it? How do you feel about it?
I completely agree. I just did a series on self-love and self-confidence on Instagram, and we talked about that specifically of how we are so easily or we so easily demean ourselves and negate our abilities while we are actively building other people up. Like, why don't we see those things in ourselves? And I know I personally am really good at undermining my accomplishments. I am quick to attribute it to something else. I got lucky, or they just needed this and I filled that void. Whereas really it's attributed to my ability and the hard work that I put in. And it's hard to, I don't know why it is, again, as Black women, it's hard to acknowledge that and accept that we know what we're doing. We put the work in, and that is why we're getting the results that we're getting. Not because we got lucky or it was a Saturday and the sun was out. It's because we worked for it. And I think that has a lot to do with societal things and how we've been trained to perceive ourselves. And yeah, it's over for that. It's over for that.
It's over for that, honey. We done, okay?
Yes.
We claiming it, okay?
Exactly.
And we're draping it on, okay?
Exactly. Yes.
I love that. I feel like for me, because this is like a combination, like my journey on interviewing and really like expressing myself came out of pandemic and like a need. However, my goals have shifted. Like, so I wanted to highlight and celebrate Black women. And then it was like my niche is Pinterest. So I need to be celebrating that. And so I take these opportunities to combine the two because I do live on two separate platforms. I live on Black Girls Do Have Amazing Superpowers, but then I'm the Ebony Biz Diva too. So I try to combine them when I can. And then there's so many segments to our audience that even if we're very niche down, we have to segment a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just really happy to be able to have a conversation that kind of delves into all of those like pieces of who I am. Your pieces and how you living on Pinterest. Why Pinterest? Because that's not your platform that you started out on. You mentioned
Right.
Instagram, right? So
yes.
Let's talk about like where you started and why Pinterest.
Mm-hmm. And I always tell influencers now, like, I know Instagram seems to be like the mecca. We've got to be killing it on Instagram, be considered a successful influencer. No, lies. I have in the last few months, I've almost caught up to the following that I've built on Instagram over the last 3 years on Pinterest. And it's genuine people who are trying to connect with me on Pinterest. It's a real following over there. So definitely, like you said, like the first 2.5 years of my career, it was like laser focused on Pinterest. Gotta hit those metrics, not Pinterest, on Instagram. Gotta hit those metrics on Instagram. This is the only way I'm going to be able to succeed as an influencer. And then Pinterest was doing some research. And I think they were just asking creators to weigh in on some things that they were doing on the platform. And I signed up for the opportunity and they chose me to do it. And I was like, this is cool. Let's see what's going on over here. So I did a little research for them, and it involved a follow-up interview afterwards. So I had to talk to someone directly at Pinterest and give my feedback. And again, going back to my superpower, my ability to create genuine connections, I just made such an impression on the researcher that they were like, hey, I need to connect you with this other person in Pinterest. I think you'd be great for this opportunity. And I've literally just been handed around Pinterest HQ since then. Like, they were just like the connection that we made. And all I was doing was giving feedback on a research assignment. And I don't like what they felt from that. They're like, hey, we need to envelop this girl and bring her into the fold. And Pinterest has really just been the best support in helping us to understand how the platform is changing and what it needs in creators and how it is becoming more creator focused. And I don't know of any other platforms that are doing that. Like, I've talked to other creators that have spoken with other headquarters, and they're like, we come out even more confused. And Pinterest is like laying the blueprint. They're like, this is how you're going to succeed. And they have just been so fantastic in helping me get to this point where now I'm able to leverage that brand that I built on Pinterest as an influencer. So when brands come to me and they're like, hey, we'd like for you to do this on whatever other platform, I'm like, cool, but you're really going to be best served on Pinterest. And of course, you, as being a marketing expert, like the evergreen nature of Pinterest, like things don't die on Pinterest the way they die on other platforms. And I say all the time, like, why are we putting our marketing dollars behind a post that's going to get looks for 48 to 72 hours, or a story that's going to exactly expire? Why does that make sense? It doesn't. Whereas I've got a pin that I created 3 years ago that still brings traffic to my blog every single day. Like, what's the disconnect? Yeah, exactly.
Girl, you said a word. I need somebody to rewind that part and play it like 3 more times just so you can understand the power of Pinterest. And the thing I really like about the platform is that they do the research, they do ask the questions. They have changed their platform around a lot over the last few years, but not as a need to generate more income, because the income comes when they serve us. They get that piece. But because they're listening to us and saying, hey, why can't we do this on the platform? Or wouldn't it be great if we did this on the platform? And so I see a lot of change happening in that. So what was the one thing that happened? Because normally it's something that happens, something goes down, and you're like, I'm going to make this change today because I'm not doing this no more. What was the one thing that happened over in them other platforms that made you say, I know they reached out to you, I know, but it had to be something somebody said. It had to be something that resonated with you that you said, I'm going to put my energy into this Pinterest.
Absolutely. So I, again, had done some research. I was working on story pins when they were still real new. And I put out a story pin, and within hours, it got over 1 million impressions. And I was like, huh? What is this thing that just happened? And it went crazy. And I was like, oh my goodness, there is a whole audience of people on Pinterest that I've been neglecting, because it was like, they were like, where's the link? How do we buy this? We can't find. And I'm like, oh, what? You want to buy these things from me? And I was like, ma'am, it is time. And my husband really, he was like, listen, I understand you really want to like Instagram, but if that's not your lane, that's not your lane. And I was like, you right. So he has always been like, you need to be going where the money resides. You don't need to be wasting all your time on Instagram. And after that happened, I was like, okay. And it's just continued to happen. I even posted on Instagram because I'm encouraging other creators. I'm like, let's all have a mass exodus. No, I'm just joking. But I posted, like, I did a comparison. I showed them metrics from content that I posted on Instagram, posted the exact same content on Pinterest. The impressions triple, quadruple what was happening on Instagram. I'm like, same content. Why is this? So that has just continued to fuel my fire. Like, the same stuff I'm creating for old ungrateful Instagram, Pinterest is loving it.
Grateful.
They are grateful. No, I'm just
they are grateful, honey. They do. They are I did actually the other day get an email from them though, asking, did you get that email that said they wanted they were looking for people to be a part of a survey and they wanted to get people's information and their input. I just got that maybe Thursday. I said,
Ooh.
okay,
Mhm. They see what's happening. They see what's
yeah,
happening. And you know how Instagram is. If they see any other platform trying to make changes, they're gonna do what they need to do to also
yeah.
compete. So I
But
think
it's reactive though. And I say
mhm,
this in my real job, like I don't move in a reactive state. First of all, I'm a Capricorn. Let me preface this next statement by telling y'all, because my audience knows I'm a Capricorn and I'm always looking at the numbers. Okay. If the numbers don't
mhm.
make sense, then I can't make dollars. So no, we're not doing.
Right.
And so I don't work in a reactive state. I'm always thinking, okay, what are the questions that I'm getting? What are the pain points? Like, not only from others, but then what are my pain points in my
Mm,
business? And how can
mhm.
I make my workflow a little smoother? How can I be of change in a better way and
Right.
help? And so you mentioned impressions. And for those that are very new to Pinterest, I just want to explain that metric because it's unlike any other platform where we actually get to see like how many eyes are actually seeing our content. And
Mhm.
so when I'm explaining like the awesomeness of Pinterest, I always explain it in these three ways that they deliver to us, that they serve us. Because it's a search engine, your user types in whatever, and give me one of your keywords, Shaquita. Let's use
Um,
you.
I'll use like aesthetic outfits or outfits for curvy women.
Oh,
Those
that's a
kinds of
good
things.
one. That's a good one
Mhm.
because I got curves myself.
Girl,
So we're gonna use
yes.
that one. We're gonna use that one. So
Yes.
instead, we're gonna say outfits for curvy women. Somebody is looking for outfits for the sun is out, spring is about to spring on us. I'm going to the beach at the end of the month. So yeah, I'm already thinking about outfits for these curves. So I
Right.
type that in and Shaquita's content comes up and now I'm looking at it. That's an impression, right? Because my eyes are on her content. Now, as I'm clicking through her content, takes me to her board and I'm clicking on more of her pins. And so every time I'm looking at more of her pins, eyes are on it. Ching ching. Now listen to this. Pinterest also is going to tell that user, you know what? We know you were searching for some stuff with your curvy girl magic. So we're going to send these pins to your email address if they haven't opted out. And so now more eyes on more content. Okay. More eyes. And then when that user logs back in, guess what pops up? Because it's a search engine. Where you left off, outfits for curvy girls. So that is the one way that Pinterest works harder for you that no other platform does that at all, period. They really do work hard to make sure that they are helping you to get new eyes on your content because that's where you build your following. As she said, her following has grown so quickly, but it's also where your following is really your tribe. They
Mhm.
checking for you. So that
Mhm.
means they riding with Shaquita. I don't care what Shaquita puts out there in the world. They riding with her. They probably gonna sign up for her email list. I know they did because her funnel is tight, honey. She keeping them aware of everything that's going on in the world. I'm giving y'all too much because y'all need to sign up with Shaquita. You want to know more about how that thing moves, you need to sign up with her. Her link
Hey,
is going to be in the description, okay? I'm giving y'all way too much because y'all don't even know what to do with it. She's going to
there
show
we
you
go.
what to do with it. Yes. So I just wanted to explain what impressions were because it floats around a lot. And if people are new, they don't really know.
Yeah.
So let's say spring is coming. What new is on the horizon for you in Pinterest?
Definitely. In terms of things that I'm creating, I actually just got some new pieces and some vintage things from one of my girlfriends, and I'm going to be doing a couple story pins showing how to incorporate vintage with your modern pieces. Because I know the 90s are coming back strong.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to bring that to my Pinterest family, because I know they really love my styling content and my fashion content. So we'll be doing that. And then in terms of any work that I'm doing with Pinterest, later on this month, I'll be speaking at the Aspire Hire event that's being put on by Aspire IQ. And if anybody doesn't know what Aspire IQ is, it is a platform that connects influencers with brands. And they will be doing a 2-day long virtual conference where they'll be discussing what they do, and Pinterest is a part of that. So I'll be speaking with one of my favorite people at Pinterest. She used to be the fashion lead. Her name is Gina Kim Timmons, and she's going to be interviewing me for that. So I'm excited to do that. I just really love talking about how creators can be leveraging Pinterest for their own personal brands and for their brand partners. And I'm really leaning into educating folks on how to do that, because there is so much money to be made. I just finished up an invoice I'm sending over to our brand partners today. Yeah, I was able to like, and you need this and you need that on Pinterest. And they're like, yes, okay, awesome. So it's definitely money to be made if you know what you're talking about. And if you understand, like you said, impressions and all that, if you understand how all that works and you're able to convey that to a brand and educate them on why they need to be marketing on Pinterest, more times than not, they're going to say, okay, let's do this. So working on helping people understand how to do that effectively and how to use those new Pinterest tools to their advantage. So yeah, that's lots of things coming up. I just love spring and warm weather, so I'm just excited to create. Pinterest is my favorite place to create on. You don't need a perfectly aesthetic feed. Like all the presets ain't got to be the same. You create.
Yeah.
And it's just really freeing over there. I like it. I like it a whole lot.
Oh my God, that's exciting. We'll definitely include all of those links so that everybody can check that out as well. And they'll definitely be able to stay connected with you. Now, I want to ask, let's shift the wheels to Clubhouse, because that's where we met, on Clubhouse.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of you that aren't on Clubhouse, maybe you're not an iPhone user yet, so you just don't know. Don't worry, Android, it's coming. They said it's coming to you, so don't worry about that thing, okay? But Clubhouse is this audio platform where we literally are on our phones talking and either receiving information or delivering information. It's a place where you can create rooms and you can have these conversations on any topic. And so actually, Shaquita and I met on a room on Pinterest, and I literally inboxed her because your Instagram or Twitter are connected, and I hit her up on her Instagram. I slid into her DMs while we were on stage, and I was like, girl, I got this and that's essentially
like, yes.
how it works. That's how your connections work. Had it not been for Clubhouse, I never would have, or I wouldn't say never, but we wouldn't have crossed paths in the way that we did. And so
Exactly.
how are you feeling about Clubhouse and Pinterest, and what is it doing for the excitement of Pinterest?
Listen, I've been on Clubhouse for a few months now, and I've been in some rooms, I've spoken on some stages, but I honestly do not feel at my most comfortable other than when I'm speaking about Pinterest. I enjoyed so much that room that we met each other in, the Pinterest prep room. Like just hearing y'all speak that first time that I came in, I was like, oh my goodness, where have I been? These are my people. So I really love not only speaking in that room, but learning from y'all in that room. I swear I always learn something. I know you weren't there this past Thursday, but somebody asked a question, and then I butted in and I was like, wait, now I got a question. And Nikki was like, ma'am, asking questions. Like, I do have a question. So not only am I sharing what I know, but I'm also learning from people who have been in the Pinterest game much longer than I have. And it's just, if I tell people all the time, if you want to learn about how to use Pinterest in real time, you need to be on Clubhouse. You need to be coming to these rooms to be hearing from people who know what they're doing like you. Yeah, I just really love it. being able to talk about a platform that has really just this 180 in my business, and
Right.
being able to share that with other people and open their eyes to the possibilities of what they could be doing with that platform. There was a girl in there Thursday who said she hadn't used her Pinterest in 3 years. I'm like, come on back, sis. Where you been at? Come on back.
Where you
So
been?
exactly, come on back in here. So it's so fun to educate folks who are like, Pinterest, we go over there to pin recipes. No, we make money on Pinterest.
We make money on Pinterest
Multiple
now.
ways.
Whether you want to make money on Pinterest now, that's up to you, honey. But we making money on Pinterest, okay?
Right.
Period. So
Right.
the thing that I really like about Clubhouse is that I started in other rooms just talking about Pinterest. Very nervous about that because Instagram rooms were dominating. And it's because it's connected. YouTube rooms were dominating. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna speak on Pin. I'm gonna speak on Pin. I'm gonna do a room.
Yes.
So I did a room, and that room, I think my first room had 100 people in it. And I was blown away. But I also saw other people that popped up on the stage because you have to raise your hand to come up on stage to speak. And once they started telling me, oh, yes, I do Pinterest as well, I was like, oh, let me make them a moderator. They can help me with this room.
Right.
Let me add these people. And that's how I started meeting other people. And to be honest, I became an expert in Pinterest because I've been using Pinterest for about 4 or 5 years for my Paula's Whip brand, which are my butters and oils that I've been making for 30 years that you can use on your hair and your skin. One product you can use on both your hair and your skin. And the Pinterest analytics was bouncing off my Etsy. And when I moved to Square, bouncing off my Square. During the pandemic, I was not talking about Etsy, but my Etsy was popping. And Pinterest was the reason because, as you mentioned earlier, you can post a pin and it never dies. People were home chilling and they were what? They were on the search engine, okay? Looking for ideas and things because you couldn't go to the spa. The stores were closed. You didn't know how to get the things. Well, Paula's Whip was open, okay?
Right.
And so they were finding me on Etsy because of Pinterest. And so I said, I need to show people how this works because these are pins that are getting impressions that I have not posted, that I posted 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And because none of my existing content even had the Etsy website, I hadn't talked about Etsy in 2 years, but Etsy was popping. So that was what made me think, okay, let me dig in more because I really researched Pinterest out of the need of understanding Etsy when I first started. So I already had the tools and I said, well, let me just share this and grow this thing. But I didn't see other women of color talking about Pinterest. And so when I went to find help, I went to solicit, I even paid for programming because I can't be an educator if I don't educate myself. And so if you are ever hiring a coach or anyone to show you the way, if they don't invest in themselves, be very leery, okay? Because it's changing so much that you need to be on top of that. And because I didn't see anyone that looked like me, I said, oh, I'm going to fill that void. The EbonyBizDiva is going to fill that void. And then I ran on a Clubhouse and ran into JJ and Danny and Shaquita and all of
We are out there.
We out there, but you don't know because you're in your silos and you're not aware of what's going on and what other people are doing. So Clubhouse has brought this sisterhood together of other experts that are also moving and shaking inside Pinterest, and it's not competitive. It is very collaborative.
Yes.
And I love that about that. And so that's how we met. And I actually have a club. It got approved in January of 21.
Really?
And The Pinterest room. The
Oh, I
Pinterest
think I
room.
follow it. I
Yeah,
follow anything
you
with Pinterest on
follow
it.
it.
Yep.
And we have so many experts in there that are doing rooms all day and all evening. And yeah, we're like at 3,000 right now, a little over 3,000
See,
really quick. We're the largest Pinterest club on Clubhouse at the moment.
see,
Now I see some people, it's 10 other clubs that popped up, honey. So I got to keep running to stay on top. But I feel comfortable that even if they do come up, we're going to help each other and collaborate because that's what it's about.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Hopefully one day they will add the ability to connect your Pinterest, because I don't know if the creator of Pinterest or one of them of Clubhouse used to be a Pinterest employee.
Oh, I hope so,
Hmm.
because the Pinterest team now on Pinterest.com, they are always in our rooms.
Sure are.
That is the power of that platform, but also it shows how Pinterest is very like boots on the ground, trying to hear like what the issues are, what we're actually experiencing on the platform, and we're able to connect with them. I'm able to invite them inside of my rooms that I'm having. Chiquita
Mhm.
is too, so it's a wonderful platform to be able to close the gap.
Exactly. They are very good about being able to contact them directly. Like when you get in touch with Pinterest, you're going to talk to a real person. Being a business owner and using other platforms like Facebook or Instagram, specifically Facebook, there's no number. You can't find a person. If you have a grievance, like Pinterest, you're gonna be able to email a direct person.
Yeah.
Like, how y'all doing this? I'm like, come on now. But yeah, Pinterest they're very available and open. Like you said, they want to know what's going on. They want to always be improving. So they are talking to the people who are doing the most to drive the growth of the platform, like yourself and all of the other marketing experts. So they want to know you, they want to know
Right.
me, they want to know JJ. So that's something I really love about Pinterest, for
Absolutely.
sure.
So in terms of influencers, because influencers are really big on that platform, honey. Everybody wants to be an influencer. Everybody is an influencer, honey. But Shaquita got the numbers. Follow her on Pinterest because she got them numbers to prove that she she is the
Friends.
HBIC, okay, over there when it comes to Pinterest and being an influencer. So I'm a new influencer. I met you. I'm looking at your content. I'm vibing with you. I slide into your DMs. I'm like, okay, hey, Miss Shaquita, I love your content. I know that you talk about being an influencer. Um, can you help me? How can you help me to be an influencer too?
Absolutely. I currently do one-on-one coaching. I've been doing that for about 2 years. And I'm also working on some downloadable content for people who are specifically wanting to learn more about Pinterest. So some freebies that they can sign up for my email list to get to understand why they should be using Pinterest for their marketing. Looking to do some stuff directly around story pins, teaching you how to create a story pin that gets you the best conversion in terms of your like impressions and eyes on your brand.
Oh, I need
Um,
that.
yes, yeah, it it kills me whenever I'm like on Pinterest and I know people are all up in arms. Instagram, we don't want anything on Instagram with a TikTok watermark. Don't put the tick. Why do you think it's any different on any other platform? So it kills me when I see these story pins that are straight from TikTok. Put some respect on Pinterest's name, okay? Stop doing that. Yeah, stop it. So I want to teach people how to build a story pin the right way to get the most eyes on it. So those kinds of things I'm going to be focusing on in the very near future. But for right now, I am available for one-on-one consultations to help folks with branding, to help folks with pitching, to help folks, Lord, with websites. I built my own website. I had somebody ask who did my website. Me, child. I'm so, I'm so type A. Me. I did it
Yeah,
for now. I'm going to have to
right.
delegate some of these things. But yeah, I do that. And I do have a Calendly link on my website that you can sign up for a 30-minute consultation to see if we would work well together. But yeah, so I do love doing that. I just get so passionate. My husband sometimes listens to me when I'm coaching and I just start talking so fast. He's like, hey, you need to slow down. And I'm like, I'm so excited. I just trying to spit all the things out before I forget them.
Right.
I really love doing that and just helping other people flourish. It is my joy, honestly.
I'm excited. Well, I definitely, now this is the other thing about that makes our Pinterest click, because we have a little click. We may not all know each other, but we definitely know we're only like one expert consultant removed. And so we all have our own little zhush like that we work on. We all are very proficient with Pinterest in this way. So it's not like a one-stop shop. We really are niching down and being laser focused. And
Right.
so I really like how you broke that down, because pin stories are not my jam. So when I have a group coaching membership where we really talk about Pinterest and all the beginning stages of Pinterest, but I need to invite you to come in and speak, because I can give you the basics, but I'm not the expert in pin stories. I am the expert in setting up that business Pinterest account and funnels. That's my jam.
Yes.
Like, how do you make the money? You got to have a clear call to action and a funnel. And so
Right.
that's where I live. So be very cognizant of not being fearful to niche down. Be very clear about what you do, because when you try to do everything, it's overwhelming. First of all, your ideal client is overwhelmed already by the new thing because it's new. So you really want to chisel it down and say, look, we just need to understand this one little piece, but it's got some other pieces around it that I'm going to help you with. And so I'm so happy to hear that okay, I need that template on them story pins. I'm tell you that right now. Because I story pins, I've had access to it since the summer. I'm just doing TikTok. Like yesterday, the truth be told, I got hyped. I'm a Cardi B head now, so you can't say nothing about Cardi B, because I'm all in. That's my girl. And that new song, she got me like rocking. And I said, I'm gonna do a TikTok.
Come on now.
I'm gonna do a TikTok. Let me just break down and do a TikTok. I think I've done 3.
Yeah. I tell you what, like you said, be overwhelmed and all the new things. It's like managing all the different channels and being able to serve your community, everyone. TikTok is one that, same for me. Like, I'm trying to figure out what my role is on that platform. So we'll see, child. Who knows?
I know, and it doesn't have to be today. Okay,
right?
That's
exactly.
The thing. People need to give themselves some grace. It don't have to be today.
Exactly. It cannot be today.
It won't be. Okay, how about that?
Right, exactly.
But yeah, I'm definitely going to. We got a nugget. I don't know if people heard that nugget, but put some respect on Pinterest's name and don't have that watermark over there. I don't know if y'all caught that nugget, so I wanted to rewind it for you in case you missed it, because Shaquita be dropping nuggets, but she talks so fast, like her husband said, we miss her.
When I get excited, I gotta slow myself down.
So we're definitely going to have all of your links inside of the description. Is there any final words that you want to leave with our audience?
Just that I want to thank you again, Paula, for having me and allowing me this space to talk about something that has really become so near and dear to me, and just allowing me to be in your presence as somebody who understands Pinterest on that, making that money level. So definitely just want to thank you for that. And thank you all for watching and being here. Definitely connect with me if you have any questions or you want to follow along. Absolutely. Come find me. I'm at Conventional Southern Belle, Unconventional Southern Belle across all channels. I'm like, what's my handle? At Unconventional Southern Belle across all platforms. Let's connect.
Oh yeah, you're definitely going to do some rooms. So I'm definitely going to hit you up about that.
Yes, let's
You can just go in there and do rooms anytime you want to, girl. I'm going to add you to the little group. Just go in there and do some rooms anytime you want to.
Yes, I love that.
Alrighty. Look, I am so excited that we were able to do this. this special on Pinterest with Shaquita Hyman. And let me tell you, if you haven't started on Pinterest, you got 2 places to do this. Again, this is not competitive. Like wherever your spirit leads, you've got 2 places that you can land and start your journey of understanding that thing, because you got to understand it and then either flourish and grow on your own or outsource it. I always say that you can't outsource what you don't know. So you at least have to know that thing, okay?
Exactly. Sounds like they need us both, Paula.
Little something. Alrighty. Again, this is our episode. Thank you so much for hanging out. Don't forget to watch and subscribe to the channel. I'm your girl, Paula Marie, aka the EbonyBizDiva, and I will see you later on in these internet streets.